What are your feet doing then? Well, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because when it comes to percussion, and that's what we're all talking about today, and human percussion is one of them. We all have it in us. We either start clicking our fingers or we start tapping our toes, which is a form of percussion. So when people sing and play music, they all have different ways of keeping timing. Some will rock their body, some will tap their toes to keep time, some will click their fingers. Joe Cocker does this with his fingers when he's singing, if you've ever seen him. Where I realised when I play the piano, I keep my timing with my head like this. So when I turned it to percussion, I found that I had this natural ability in me to keep time, and we all have this. So if you can tap your toes and click along with something, you've got it in you as well. So that's what a lot of it's all about. So what I will start to show you is a lot of the really cheap little percussive instruments. Here comes the cat, perfect timing, that we can all start with that are really cheap. And a lot of people will start with a little simple egg shaker. And that's based on, I much prefer to get everything in wood, if at all possible. So a lot of people will start with a really simple little shaker that you can just get into the groove with, add a little bit of accentuation to. A lot of your Latin salsa style musics all have shakers and stuff like that in the background. So they're probably the cheapest thing. The cheap ones look like little eggs. You can pick them up for a few dollars wherever you are. They're very, very cheap. So that's where a lot of people will start. So this is a Guiro, and a lot of what we consider house music, a lot of your early acid jazz and stuff like that, has a lot of this stuff in it. So Guiro is definitely one of my favourite little percussive instruments. So the cat's come to join me. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a couple at a time. I want to do a song for you that I particularly like singing with the Guiro, which we'll all like. And it's one that it's got a bit of this sort of stuff in it. So what I encourage all of you to do is get your fingers clicking, your toes tapping, you know, slap your leg, do whatever it is. So, and this is a song we'll all know. So bear with me for 2 seconds. Bonus points go to whoever can name this song first. So here we go. It normally does not take too long. Okay. So I encourage everyone to find their little beat in them and have a bit of a get into the moment. So this one is, actually no, you need to tell me if you know the name of this song. That's the game. So here we go. When I'm out of walking, I strap my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like a blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. Body and beats, I stain my sheets, I don't even know why. My girlfriend, she's at the end, she is starting to cry. Let me go on, like a blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. When I'm out of walking, I strap my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. When I'm out of walking, I strap my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like a blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. So there we go, prime example of really simple percussion. And all of us, that's a really simple song. It really does not have a lot to it, but a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, which is all the music does. And some really good percussion, and we all love it. And it's one of those songs that we all kind of get into, and that's what a lot of this is. There you go. First song you sung in public, and I bet you everyone joined in and did this with you too. It's one of those songs we just get into, and that's what a lot of it's about. One of the things, just on a slight percussive level, which I've been playing a lot with lately, is this little piano xylophone. Now, this one's entirely organic. There's no electronic componentry, entirely analog. There's little hammers underneath, exactly like a piano would be. So you can either play it like a normal xylophone, which doesn't sound anywhere near as good, or you can play it with the keys. Which is really melodic percussion. It's all music. Comes down to timing. So where the percussion always comes in, it just gives you your little accentuation points, your little peaks and stuff like that. So that's where the percussion comes in. And that's why us as the listeners often tap our toes and get into one of the other instruments that's on the Latin instrument style is this, which is a Guiro. So a Guiro is a simple little wooden instrument. It's hollow on the inside and it has grooves on it. So you can play it like this or like this, which they'll often give different names to depending on what it is. We were talking about one of our favourite instruments of all time. Has to be this one. So it's kind of obvious, but can anyone tell me what this is? The cat is probably not going to like this, by the way. More cowbell, please. Oh, yeah. There's always time for more cowbell. So one of the things I always, better than a triangle. so much better. Yeah, cowbell. When I grew up, my family had a dairy farm as well. And we had all of the really old cowbells. And they were in different tones. And I loved being able to, you kind of could flick them when they're on a bit of a handle as well. And you know, it would be used to call the cows in as well. So you'd hear it on the farm when it was time to milk and stuff like that, and all the cows would just come. So, yeah, more cowbell. More cowbell, always, when in doubt, cowbell. So there we go. The cat's putting up with it, which is better than I expected. So there we go. The other instrument you'll hear me playing all the time, which is one of my preferred little wooden instruments, is what we call claves. So claves are really just two pieces of wood that are balanced to each other. So here in Australia, we have a couple of instruments that are played. So the didgeridoo is played by the men, and the women play what they call clapsticks, which are claves. And that's used to keep usually to keep the melody in a band scenario. The rhythm section, which is the backbone that keeps everything going, is the drummer and the bass guitarist. They provide that backbeat for everything, and that's what these instruments all are. They provide that backbeat and tempo for stuff that everything else is created around. Same way when a conductor will conduct, it's to keep people in time and to, you know, raise and lower certain motions. It's all about keeping the timing of everything together. And, you know, this can be done. A lot of us will have picked up a couple of sticks when we were younger and played with them in different ways and done lots of different stuff. So my favourite's definitely the Claves, and I do have a particular song I love singing with the Claves. So why don't I at least give you a bit of this song? I'll do this one for you as a flaming dragon, because why not? So here we go. Yeah, I love Peter Gabriel and Real World and all of that, and I've got a real passion for that, and I guarantee you probably will too. Let me just show you one thing quickly as well before I forget. So every percussive instrument I've shown you so far only produces one tone. You're always going to get the same tone. You might get a slightly different volume depending on how hard you hit the instrument. But not a lot of them have two tones. There's a couple of drums like the tabla that has two tones, and you can actually buy a two-tone block. So this is a little two-tone block that's carved to produce two different sounds. And there are a couple of new drums now that have multiple multiple tones in them as well. So I'll just give you a little bit of an idea of what this is, and then I'll come and have a proper chat to everyone. So here we go. And remember, when in doubt, more cowbell. More cowbell. More cowbell. Moo. More cowbell. Moo. Now this is where I need my keyboard that's got moo sounds in it. We'll do that later. We'll go cowbell, moo, and moo. We'll do a triple moo. I can also use it percussively. So a lot of the time when people play, it's amazing what one can do with one's fingernails too. So any of these instruments that you can play, you can actually get a second tone just from using your fingernails, which is one of the few times you're going to get a variable tone. So anything you've got, including your ukuleles, your guitars, your bass guitars, they're all potentially percussive instruments as well. And particularly an acoustic instrument like an acoustic guitar or a ukulele is particularly good, as is this kalimba, because it has a little resonance body on it. So that way it's going to give you a really nice sound, as a drum would. One of the other little percussive instruments I found at the op shop recently was this. So this was another Kmart one, though I found it for $3 at the op shop. So it's a little children's table that I'm going to turn into a costume, so it's going to sit like this, so I can play it while I'm singing. Thank you, my pleasure. It's got a little xylophone in it. The same as the Guiro we were playing before, is pretty much the same as this, but it's not hollow on the inside, so you can use it like a little scraper. So we've got the xylophone and a little cymbal. There you go. So that's a little bit more. And as we said before, when in doubt, more cowbell. More cowbell. Yeah, cowbell. Moo, moo, moo. More cowbell. So percussion's really fun. Before you know it, you're hitting everything around you, and you're like looking for all the different tones you have as well. And there's a lot of things you can tune and a lot more you can play with. For when life slaps you in the face, make music of it. You too, love. Bye. 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 Later. Bye. Thank you for being here. It's been a lot of fun with you and some inspiration. I've been slapping myself around in the face, playing cowbells and everything else. Hope you've enjoyed the show. I have. It's been a lot of fun. See you in half an hour for some song, and we'll keep it going on. So thank you for being here. Been a lot of fun. I'll see you next time for another round. Half an hour from now, we'll sing some more. I hope to see you all there. Yeah. Goodbye to me, goodbye to you. Thank you for being here with me too. See you later, I need some food, and coffee is my fuel. And as we said before, only one thing you need to know: when you're in doubt, more cowbell, more cowbell. Moo, 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 moo. Yeah. Bye, everyone. It's been a huge amount of fun. Please like, comment, and subscribe.